Hello, everybody. Welcome along to your afternoon rabble, or as I might rename it, it's 12:31. Let's go. We were talking about bespoke lights and stuff like that before we started, and nobody realised that it was 12:31. So I blame Alex because
Yeah,
he's
mate.
wearing a 5-year-old's jumper. And Craig sounds like, because it's a new room he's in, it sounds like he's in a closet. But yes, welcome along to the afternoon rabble. It's a, I don't know if you want to call it a rabble special today as we look ahead to Sunday. We might have a wee chat about Wednesday. Who knows how the show's going to go? But please do get your comments in, folks. Whatever you want us to discuss. It could be nothing to do with Sunday. It could be something to do with what happened on the 15th of February 1982. The year that was that's Craig's birthday, 1982. So there we go. I just made that up. But get your comments in, folks. Let us know what you want to talk about. That socket on the wall is really high, multiple man, isn't it? There's no need for a socket to be that high, Craig.
There is a reason for that, because that's where my TV's going.
Well, there you go, multiple man. That's you told.
I just need to actually put it. I just need to actually put it up on the wall this weekend.
Yeah, what, the socket or the TV?
The socket and in the TV.
Yeah. So, I mean, right. Let's be serious. The rabble is always late. Complaining about that is like complaining about Scottish weather. We shouldn't have been late today if Alex had realised what time it was, but he never bothered his arse. Alex, how are you?
Shut up. Never bothered his arse. I'm all right, mate. Literally, none of us realised until we seen Lyndon's comment. It was like, oh shit, we better move our arse here. So, talking that way, and that's what it is. But no, good, mate. I'm actually on, I think it's the first or the second afternoon I've actually been on, because usually I'm working during the week, so I never come on the afternoons.
Well, you tell your missus you work, but what you haven't told her is that you've been unemployed for 6 months.
I just nip out the house all day and just sit in the corner somewhere and then just wait.
Having Hightower on the afternoon rabble is a cardinal sin.
All right, thank you very much. I'll just go. Right, I'll see you later on. I'm away. Right.
Right, so I'm going to give everybody the choice for this afternoon rabble, right? As it's Friday, as it's Halloween, as it's a bit of a fun day. Yes, we will build up to the game on Sunday, I promise. But I'm going to give you the option of what overlay is going to be on the show today, right? So option number one, and sorry for people listening back on the audio, if you want to just skip about 30 seconds and miss this wee bit out. So option number one is the wee skeleton, right? As you can see. Option number two is a wee trick or treat with a nice wee hat. Option number three is a candy pumpkin, which actually could be related to Craig. Option number four.
It's got the complexion of Ian Thompson.
It's got the complexion. Well, yeah, it's got the complexion of Ian Thompson and the teeth of me. So there we go. Option number four is all this stuff. Option number five is this, and we're going to call that spooky frame. We're going to call that haunted corner, and option number six is the candy border. So there is your options in the comments. Tell me what you want. So your options are trick or treat, dancing skeleton, candy pumpkin, haunted corner, spooky frame, or candy border. That's your choices. You've got 2 minutes to get your answers in, and then I will put up the one that gets the most votes. Alex, mate, how are you?
I'm all right, mate. I'm good, looking forward to the weekend. Obviously, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot coming up, so it'll be good to see how we can actually start performing when there's a bit of pressure. So I'm good, mate. I'm good.
Right, well, I will say quickly that Lyndon has voted for the skeleton, so it will not be the skeleton. Craig, how are you?
Yeah, very good. Day off today, which involves no sick this time after the last couple of weeks. So yeah, I can't really complain.
Good. Right, well, do you know what? Before we go on, because I want to speak about Nico Raskin first before we get into Sunday. Let's have a quick Georgie Dawes what's the scores, right? So 4 and 5 are tragic. That's not that's just a statement. So Brian's gone 4, 6, 4, 4, 6. So 4's winning. 3, 2. There is no 8, gravy. Robert Jackson's went 2. Chunky's went to Skeleton. So 4. Gallant gets the final vote, and number 4 wins it. So it is Haunted Corner. So there we go. That will be today's overlay. It literally looks like Craig's resting on the cauldron there. So yes, that's what we're going to go with. Right, let's have a serious conversation then, gentlemen, shall we? Alex, mate, I'll start with you. Nico Raskin, right? I put a tweet out today. That's a war crime. That tickled me. I put a tweet out today. You can tell I'm in a good mood. Put a tweet out today, Alex, saying that, look, he's not played well recently. But I do think when he's on form, when he's at it, he is the best player for me. Best midfielder, certainly in Scotland, if not the best player in Scotland when he's on it. He's not currently on it. But is he as bad as what you read on socials right now? Has he played?
No, I don't think Nico Raskin is as bad as what we're seeing on socials right now. I think one of the biggest things is that if you look at Nico Raskin when he plays for Belgium compared to what he's played for Rangers this season, it's been chalk and cheese. He's went away and had very good games with the Belgian teammates, and then for Rangers, he's looked almost like he either can't be bothered or he's still trying to find a position that's suited to him. He's obviously been told by Russ Martin to play higher. Then under Danny Rohl, he's playing a bit deeper. Now he's kind of playing somewhere in the middle. So I think when you actually look at Nico Raskin, I think he is probably the best midfielder in the league, hands down, on his day. But right now, we're just not seeing it from him. Connor Barron looked 10 times better than Nico Raskin, and he's a player that's had a lot of stick as of late for either not being up to fitness, not being looking like he can compete in the midfield. But for Nico, I think he needs to adjust, but he needs to obviously start getting a connection with his teammates as well, because when you look at it, he just looks like he's almost uninterested, and it's obviously a bit of an issue right now, but he's got a good coach in Danny Rohl to try and obviously help get him through that. But the games are not going to slow down at any point at Rangers, and he's going to need to try and find his form quickly again, or he's going to risk being dropped and somebody else taking that spot.
Is it fair, Craig, to say uninterested? I think that's harsh for me. I get why people are saying it, but I think it's harsh. I've also heard people saying that they think that he's trying too hard in terms of he wants to be the main man. He wants to be the centre of everything that we do, and maybe he's actually trying too hard. What's your thoughts?
Oh, I left myself on mute there. Yeah, I think he is just trying to be everything in that midfield rather than just focusing on his game. I think if he just sticks to one position, which is maybe where the manager's trying to get used to the team and understand who plays where, I think he is trying to sort of focus on that, and he just needs to focus on his game. Things behind the scenes, contract talks, leaving maybe at the end of the season, isn't really something that he can control at the minute. So it is just a case of getting back to basics. I think we also do need a settled midfield. I think the midfield has just been changing too much for necessity often. But I think once we've got the settled midfield and Raskin's got a specific role in that midfield, then we'll hopefully get to the best of him going forward.
Well, it was it Stephen this morning on the morning phone-in, which is available on the Rabble Network, folks, which I'll go into in a wee minute. But it was Stephen this morning, Alex, who said that he would drop Raskin for Sunday. If I'm looking at anybody to drop for Sunday, even an off-form Raskin, it's not him.
I don't think we can afford to drop Nico Raskin for Sunday, especially with Barron being unavailable for Sunday. We cannot afford to drop Nico Raskin. If we're obviously losing Barron and then dropping Raskin, who's going to take that midfield spot to hold in? Are we going to then be relying on Rothwell or Diamandi to try and get that, or even a Bailey Rice coming back and who's had no game time? We've always had a massive blow in one. I don't think we can afford to drop Nico, even if he's not playing the greatest. He still turns up for these games. He still looks like he's up for it. It's going to be massive if we do go, right, Raskin, you're not playing. It's going to be Diamandi holding, who we know loves to go a wander forward. And then in front of him is going to be Asgard and, say, Lyle Cameron. it's just going to be a complete mess up in that midfield. Raskin's issue is that he wants his teammates to do stuff that they can't do. If you look at the Hibs game, for example, there's a few times when he tried to put the ball into midfield, expecting Barron to be there, and he's pushed up trying to get it. So I think he's obviously wanting more from his teammates, but it gets highlighted because one of the comments brought it up perfectly. There's high expectations for Nico Raskin, and when they drop away, then it's noticeable as soon as they drop away. And I think that's what's happened right now, that his form's dropped a wee bit, but it's understandable. It's a new manager, it's a new system again. We're now playing with a back three, round the back four, so it's a slightly different role. He's pushed up a bit further. So I think it'll take it time to adjust, because in the Belgium he's played as more of a centre mid, and then for us he was played as a holding, then he was more of a 10, and now it's like, well, where do you want me to play? So for me, Raskin 100% cannot be dropped for Sunday. He has to be starting, regardless of form or not.
Yeah, I completely agree, Craig. I don't see. I mean, don't get me wrong. The title of the show is "What surprise does Rohl have in store for us for Sunday's Old Firm?" Because I don't think anybody can predict what Danny Rohl's going to do. He's already shown that. Nobody predicted that against Hibs, about what he'd done against Hibs. I mean, there's conversations to be had about, we won the game, yes, but how good were we, realistically over the 90 minutes? Were we the better team in that game? Or are we just that desperate for Rangers to get back to winning ways that were maybe not quite as far along as we maybe actually? I think that's a conversation maybe for another day. But Raskin for me is the first name on the team sheet. Every game. Every single game. Unless he's having an absolute howler. He's going through a period of time where he can't pass the ball, he can't do anything. Like a few of the comments have said, he still shows for every ball. He still wants to get involved in every attack and every play. And I think that's part of the issue. But also, as Alex says, we've now got a manager who's very, very tactically astute and will be in the ears of every player, not just Nico Raskin, but every player. And they will know their role. And as time goes on, I think you'll start to see every player improve.
Yeah, we need Raskin. We need him, even if Barron was there, but definitely with Barron being suspended, we need Nico Raskin on Sunday. None of the other midfielders, for me, touch Raskin. None of them can do what he can do. Even if he's playing very, very poor, you still want him in the team because he's likely to turn up on Sunday and have a 10 out of 10 performance. He likes these games. We saw how much we missed him earlier in the season when we played Celtic at home. We desperately needed him that day. I would be absolutely shocked if he wasn't playing on Sunday. The manager will keep us all guessing, I'm sure, up until about an hour and a half before kick-off. I think that will work in our favour in a way, because the other team won't know what to expect either. I would hazard a guess that David Gray did not expect that team to line up on Wednesday night, and it probably threw him off slightly. So I think that's a good thing, that we do have a manager that is able to completely change things if needed. But yeah, I would absolutely be putting Raskin in. Who plays alongside Raskin? That's probably up for debate, but Raskin has to be the main man in the midfield.
Well, it's funny you should ask that, Craig, right? Because Paul's asked the question, do you think Bayrami comes back in out of the cold to deal with McGregor?
No. And also I think we need to get into more of a focus where we're not putting someone in the team to deal with McGregor. I think we need to be focusing on McGregor dealing with our players and reversing that a little bit. We for too long we've had this thing where we need someone in, whether it be Bayrami, Asgard earlier in the season, and we're basically negating that player to deal with Callum McGregor. And I think we really should be focusing on what we're doing and let them worry about us.
Alex, you're kind of nodding along there.
I don't think Bayrami will come in from the cold to be put in to deal with McGregor. I think that even if it is Raskin to deal with him, the way that Danny Rohl obviously set up, and none of us expected to go back three, or this 3-4-3 we played against Hibs, he kind of played a variation against Kelly, but nobody expected that. I think that he's going to put somebody like, even I could see like him putting maybe like Mikey Moore in to then try and stretch that midfield, but then have Diamandi on him or Raskin on him, but having that option that we've got that person to go forward, because I like that we're playing almost Mikey Moore in the utility role. We've seen it a lot in the Kelly game where he was in everybody was getting hounded by him, and it didn't matter who they were. and I can see that happening again. There'll be a player that says your role is to not sit on Callum McGregor, but just hound anybody in that midfield, because I know our team's a bit all over the place, but their midfield is in absolute chaos right now. So I think Danny Rohl will know that there's going to be areas to get at in that midfield, especially playing with the two wing backs. The way that we had Magoma, and for times we had Tav and we had Aarons just going up and down. Teams didn't expect it because we're waiting on Gassama or Danilo or Chimiti being that player, and it wasn't coming at all. We were then trying to control it through the midfield. So I don't think we bring Brian Rami on to be the person that sits on him. I think that Danny Rohl's going to be more.
Well, that would be a foul.
Very good, very good. But Danny Rohl will be more astute to the fact that he knows that somebody will have to watch him. But the battle's going to be won with the fact that how many times have we sat here and spoke about it and watched it, that our midfield sits off with them and they get the space to go from their own box to the edge of ours and nobody puts a challenge in. Danny Rohl will have watched that and gone, right, I need to just stop that before they even get past the halfway line. How many times did Cornelius drive with that ball into Hibs' half? He was just going on wanders. He'll know that players can do it, and he'll want to put a stop to that very quickly on Sunday.
I know you kind of mentioned David Gray there in his Hibs team. I wonder if there's any silver lining for that game for David Gray, or if he expected his Hibs team to shine. Now, for people who know what I just said, they are laughing their heads off right now. Absolutely laughing their heads off. Yes. I mean, I could do the David Gray song puns. All right. He probably after the game thought, we're not right. You know, Rangers are our nemesis. I mean, I could be here all night. I could be here all night, folks. Doing the David Gray stuff. I really, really could. Alex, you mentioned Tav there. It is his birthday today, 34 years old. 2 years younger than me. What's that? 8 years younger than you, Alex, and 14 years younger than Craig. So he's getting on a bit. But Sunday, do we expect, if it is going to be the 3-4-3, or if it's going to be a 4 at the back, or if it's going to be 1 at the back? I don't know what Danny Rohl's going to do. Do we expect to see Tav in defence over Aarons? Or did Aarons do enough against Hibs for you to go, actually, he might start with him?
I think we see Tav, in all honesty. I think because I don't think Aarons looked as comfortable. There was a lot of times when he was getting forward and then just turned back and waited on other midfielders or attackers to take the ball and go. I don't think that we've just seen it enough from Aarons to start. I think it'll be Magoma and Tav in the wing back roles, because Magoma was outstanding. He got took off because he was getting involved in a wee bit, and Hibs were trying to wind him up. And obviously there was then the proper absolute cracky chop.
Kieran Bowie turned into Tom Bailey.
He sent him into another stadium at that point. But I think it'll be Tav. There's a few shouts that we play somebody a bit more attacking there, but I think Danny Rohl will want that defensive solidity to go into like a back five if needed, because there was a lot of times where when we went into that five, you've seen how comfortable we were just defending it. Nobody was getting past. And I think it'll be that we go Tav and Magoma. We'll see Tav getting up and down that line. And that'll be the way that Danny Rohl will do it. Maybe for the first half anyway. And Aarons might come in, but I don't think Aarons impressed many people with his performance at Easter Road.
In terms of pace, though, Craig, because I didn't see any of Celtic's game at Falkirk. I probably should have watched some of it just to see how they looked under Martin O'Neill. I didn't see any of it. What I did see was that Maeda was back in the team. And the reason that I ask about either Tav or Aarons is Aarons does have a little bit more pace than Tav. In saying that, you know, we could all have a broken leg and maybe have a little bit more pace than Tav, Craig. But for that whole Tav versus Maeda thing that seems to worry us, would it make sense to put Aarons in there to try and deal with the pace a little bit better?
I'm going to go completely different. I think he'll revert to similar what he played against Kilmarnock, and I think he'll have Tav at centre back and Gassama wide on the right. I think there was a reason why he didn't play on Wednesday. I can see him being put in wide right to utilise him going the other way. Mentioned it Sunday's game. What I really liked about the back three on Sunday was that you had Tab and Cornelius, who are both comfortable playing centre back or full back. So we were able to stretch the defence a little bit with those two going quite wide. So for me, it's not really a discussion about Aarons or Tab. I think Tab will play right centre back to sort of give him that bit of support against Maeda, whoever's up front. But I think we'll see Gassama wide right.
He's never really impressed on the right though, Gassam really. Multiple man saying it's too Nekity, not Maeda on the left. Well, I don't know who that is, so somebody will need to update me. Is he fast?
He got a goal against Falkirk tonight. He did get a goal against Falkirk. He's not too bad, but he's...
So is that him worth $50 million Dembele now?
Aye, that's him.
Right.
Probably more now. Probably a bit more now, aye, but he got a goal against them. But I don't think he's not very fast, but he's the same as the other Belgian winger they've got as well. They don't seem to actually run it, the forwards, like the back line as much as like Maeda does. He'll obviously run at the back line and try and cut in inside, and obviously Tab then seems to go into a shell whenever he comes against Dyson Maeda. So we'll wait and see for that one. But I was surprised. There was one player, there was a comment there from Davey that Giga was very, very good in that back three. Obviously putting a great tackle to win the ball back in the first half as well, but looked very comfortable rather than being in the back two. In the back three, he looked so much more comfortable. Suter looked comfortable being in the centre rather than being on either side. So the back line is getting there. Yes, there was a few times when it was a bit of a bomb scare, but
Do
the
you,
back line is
do you think,
comfortable.
Alex, though, do you think that depends on Cornelius? Because he obviously went off with that facial injury. If Cornelius isn't fit to play, do you think he reverts back to a back four? And if Cornelius is fit, then he might go with a three. The reason to ask, he might. I mean, I've got no idea. Nobody's got any idea what Danny Rohl's going to do. But I can't. I really can't see him going with a three and using Fernandes.
No, I mean, Fernandes got 7 or 8 minutes. I think he got about 7 or 8 minutes when he came on for Cornelius. But I think that back line does only work because Cornelius was in there. We were always told that Cornelius didn't have pace. Well, he was keeping up with a lot of their wingers, no issue at all. Like Martin Boyle couldn't get a second to breathe. He couldn't get away, and he was keeping up with him, no bother. He was strong, putting in tackles. Even on a booking, he was still going for it. So I think if Cornelius is going to be fit and able to play, then he does go with a back three. If not, it'll be a back four. I do agree with what Craig was saying, that he might put Tav in there, but I don't think he'll go a back three. We're having Tav, Suter and Giga, and Cornelius is kind of the rock to keep that working. And then if he's got Magoma and either Tav or Aarons on the other side, I think that's when it works. So if Cornelius is not going to be starting, it will be a back four, I believe, because Fernandes it's the same with putting Bayrami in. He's only had 6 minutes, 7 minutes all season, and then you're going, right, getting that back three and cope with getting pressure for most of the game. It's just not gonna set him up. If he has a bad game, it's going, well, you've done it when everybody's watching because it's a semi-final, and then his confidence is going to get shot. He's probably had a bit of good fortune the fact he got in, and obviously Rangers were under the cosh when he did get in for most of that because Hibs were pushing. But there's a difference between doing it for the last 5 or 6 minutes to doing it from the first whistle.
Yeah, there is. Can I just say a big massive thank you to our very own Stephen Robertson, who has gifted 10 Rangers Rabble Podcast memberships. So thank you very, very much, Stephen, and congratulations to those who got gifted the memberships. And I hope that you enjoy all the extra content that comes your way. Like I say, we do 4 morning phone-ins, we do 3 nightly shows during the week, and then we've got all the shows that we do at the weekend, including Hightower watch-alongs to every game. We've got the Rabble reports that we do in there as well. We've got the wrestling, we've got the EPL, so much extra content for you. If you want some of that and you weren't lucky enough to be gifted a membership, links in the description for either YouTube or Patreon, whatever one tickles your fancy. And he's also sent in a super chat as well to smash that like button. I don't like saying the word troops. I just don't think I sound right saying it, but I'm going to smash that like button, troops. if you don't mind. Also, make sure that you subscribe to the channel as well. It really does help us out. And I was told something about a hype button, but apparently you can't hype something if it's live. I don't know the rules around hype, but have a look into it, folks. You'll know probably a lot better than me. And finally, Junkie72, channel member, thank you for the super chat. When does the Friday football fetish start? That is a good name for our Friday night Rabble. Tonight at 7 p.m, Junkie, over on the Rabble Network, for all channel members, tonight at 7 p.m. Thank you for the support. Right. Craig, are we looking at this game any differently on Sunday now that Martin O'Neill's been brought in as Celtic manager? Does it change anything?
Probably not. I think it changes it just as much as it did when we bought Danny Rohl in. I think form, everything else is out the window in these games. I don't think it really makes a massive difference. We were probably thinking that we got a bit of an edge, that we've come into a little bit of form. They brought in a manager, obviously, who they've obviously dug him up on Halloween to bring him back in the dugout. But they obviously had a win on Wednesday after a couple of defeats. So I don't really think it makes a massive difference. I think what we'll probably know 5-10 minutes in on Sunday. But as with most of these games, the midfield battle is going to be pretty key.
I don't even know what that word is, and I could be bringing up something completely inappropriate here. I was going to say unappropriate. That's how good Matt England is. Decorously caress the like button. I mean, it sounds like something dodgy, but I mean, do it. You might as well. And apparently, you can hit the hype button after the show's finished. So, see, after the show's finished, come back and I don't even know what it looks like, but press it. There you go. That would really help. I can't believe I'm going to say this. But Lyndon makes a good point, Alex. He might galvanise them, however, briefly. As multiple man said on the phone in this morning, what worries him is that Martin O'Neill had his Celtic team wound up. I mean, don't get me wrong, he was one of the first I can remember who had the everybody's against us, the referees, the police, the people walking in the street. I don't know if he started that whole victim culture at Celtic, but he certainly accelerated it, and he built it into his players as well. And I know he's not had a lot of time, but as Lyndon says, he might have them galvanised for Sunday and ready to go, more than what a Brendan Rodgers would have.
Well, I think it was quite clear to see that the down tools under Brendan Rodgers, especially the Hearts game before he got let go. You could see that they just weren't even playing for him at all. They didn't look interested, not bothered. And then obviously they go and play and Falkirk. And I know people say it's only Falkirk. Well, we struggled against Falkirk. And they
went home under Russell Martin, different circumstances.
They went and beaten 4-0 and looked comfortable. I think I agree with Craig, though. I think in these kind of games, form just goes out the window. You can be playing absolutely rotten, and then you turn up for this game, and then you're rotten the game after. But I think it's always a case that it just goes out the window because the atmosphere is going to be mad at Hampden on Sunday. So I do think it's, regardless of who's in the dugout for them, as Craig says, we've got a new manager, Danny Rohl. So I think it's just going to be a case of both teams are going to go for it. I just hope it's nothing like the last Old Firm this season, because it can't go to... Now, I'll need to go penalties, and I'll be sitting there for about 3 years on my own going, what do we do now? So I just want us to at least turn up and then get something to actually cheer about on the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, we're going to continue this conversation tonight at 7 o'clock for all of our beautiful and lovely channel members. But we will leave it there as it stands. Still plenty more to discuss. Who's going to start up front? How's Danny Rohl going to approach the game? Does Hampden change the way that he might have played had it been at Ibrox or had it been at their place? We're going to discuss all that tonight at 7 p.m. And who's hosting tonight at 7? It's Alex. Alex is hosting tonight at 7. And he will be joined, I will tell you quickly,
I'm back on at 7.
Kenny and Craig.
Kenny and Craig. There we go. That's who will be on tonight at 7. It'll be good to hear Kenny's take on it. I'll see if he's as depressing as what Multiple Man was on the phone in this morning.
See if his internet holds up. Let's see how it goes.
If his internet holds up, don't say that because it makes people look like we're no professional, and we're somewhat professional, Alex. But Alex, Craig, thank you very, very much. Thank you for the super chats, the gifted memberships. Thank you for all the likes, all the shares, all the subscribes, all the comments as well. I really appreciate all the support that we get. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your Friday. Enjoy your Halloween. Enjoy your trick-or-treating. And we'll see you hopefully all over on the Rabble Network tonight at 7 p.m. And if you want to be there and you aren't a member, links in the description. Thank you, folks. We'll speak very, very soon.